This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, featuring their sirloin steak burrito, amongst other goodies. Taco John's, again, just passed their 50th anniversary last week, and again, looking to serve more and more thousands and millions in the years to come. We also want to thank Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. They are your exclusive Jayco dealer for RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Check out the great selection, fantastic prices, and great financing packages available now at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field, and Menards. And again, go to CheyenneChicken.com. Check out what they can do as far as coming to your place. They do awesome cater outs. The food is absolutely delicious. Whether you do breakfast, lunch, or dinner, have the 3 squares always from Chick-fil-A Monday through Saturday. Oh, by the way, they have 2 convenient drive-thrus. Chick-fil-A, delicious eats and treats all the time for you. Platte Valley Bank ×2. You'll find Rick and the great crew over on Vanda High, as well as on the east side at the corner of College and Pershing. Banking done the old-fashioned way, banking done the modern technology way, everything in between. HELOCs along with home loans, auto loans, maybe remodel loans. You can talk with our good friends at Platte Valley Bank and get more information on that. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, your home for the Kia family. And again, all the way from the Soul to the Stinger and everything in between. Sorrento. How about the new Telluride? The 2019s are on the lot waiting for a new home. You need to pick one up, take one home today. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. And again, Gene Barber and his great staff invite you to come on by with your doctor's prescription. Let them fill those prescriptions for you. They have plenty of sundry supplies inside. They also have a convenient drive-thru outside. Again, same location as always. They've been there for a long time. Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body, the main auto and truck repair center over on Dunn Avenue, and of course the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. Family-owned, family-operated for a quarter century. It's founded by Dick Lennox and the tradition carried on by his daughter Heather Lennox. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. First Year Bank. You will find the great crew over at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, again offering some fantastic APYs right now on CDs, 27-month CDs. How about 3.1% annual percentage yield? That's at First Year Bank, open Monday through Friday. Open 7 days a week. It's Mondello's Pizzeria. Paisan cuisine at its best, delicious eats. Always from Joe Mondello. Freshly made dough, freshly made bread, fresh ingredients to go on the pizza, inside the calzones and the strombolis. Again, delicious eats always from Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Complex. We get things underway. It's scoreboard time, and we go to the scoreboard with Nick Peroetti first, brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
From last night, local baseball here in town at Powers Field. Doubleheader action for Cheyenne Post 6 as they found 2 sweeps on the doubleheader. Game number 1, it was 5-0 in favor of Post 6. Game number 2 was 4-0 victory for the Post 6 Sixers as they defeated Gillette. Again, in that doubleheader action from last night, they are 23-9 overall and will be in action coming up this weekend down in Pueblo, Colorado, and we'll talk more about that coming up on Thursday. NHL action for tonight. It is the final game for this season for NHL for the Stanley Cup Finals, as it is game number 7 between the Boston Bruins and the St. Louis Blues. This game will be in Boston, taking place at the TD Garden. You can see it at NBC, and it's on at 6 o'clock tonight. Again, game number 7, who will hoist the Stanley Cup, coming up tonight.
Major League Baseball, a lot of matinee affairs right now. The Rockies are getting pummeled by the Chicago Cubs. As Meatloaf once sang, 2 out of 3 ain't bad for the Rockies. Right now, they're getting clobbered 8-0 as they've wrapped up the 5th inning at Coors Field. Also in action, they have moved to the top of the 4th inning. They're knotted up at 2 apiece at Fenway. Rangers and the Bo Sox. Finals already in the books. Athletics have defeated the Rays in Tampa 6-2. Reds over the Indians in the battle for the Buckeye State. Cincinnati defeats the Cleveland Indians at Progressive Field 7-2. Games getting underway in the 5 o'clock hour. Diamondbacks at the Phillies. Blue Jays will be in Baltimore to take on the Orioles. Cardinals and the Marlins in Miami. Pirates and the Braves at 5:20 at SunTrust Park in Cumberland, Georgia. 6 o'clock hour feature the Tigers at the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. Brewers being entertained by the Astros at Minute Maid Park. Mariners and the Twins at Target Field. Padres Giants 7:45 at Oracle Park. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find the store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
It is Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's just me along with him being Nick Proetti, me being Larry Proetti. We did go out last night, and Nick stayed longer than me, just simply for the fact I was cold. And I had a sweatshirt.
It was windy. Night. It was very cold, and I left. I didn't stick around for game number 2. It was I felt getting a little sick as well too. So.
I'm not being a wah-wah about it. I mean,
no, it was freezing. Again, a lot of people were bundled up like it was almost winter. It was almost football season.
Yeah, blankets and heavy coats, and again, we go out. The sun was shining, a little bit of breeze, and throughout the first couple innings, it got a little bit on the chilly side. So,
it affected play last night, especially with the wind. Not so much the cold. Hey, they're used to it at this point. But again, a lot of foul balls, a lot of misreads in the outfield due to the wind gusts. It was just a wacky night, but at least for Post 6 and 9 runs, they allowed none in 2 games.
Yeah, Brooks and Trimble were spectacular on the hill last night for both.
For Brooks, I do believe he got the complete game shutout. Trimble at least went the distance. Yeah,
he went 6, and then they had some bullpen help in the 7th. The thing about as you mentioned with the Sixers, and give me that record again for Post 6. They are now
23-9.
They're 23-9. The Rough Riders, with the 2 losses, dropped to 39-8. They've had already 47 games. So, I mean, this is an experienced squad that came into town.
Well, they probably had a lot of opportunities competing in probably a lot of tournaments around Rapid City, going up to Montana. Again, with the weather out here for Cheyenne Post 6 has been pretty tough. But, again, things start picking up here, especially coming up this weekend. Well, they'll head down in Pueblo, Colorado, competing at the Nooch tournament, a tournament that they won last year and looking to repeat as champions this year. Thursday, just give you at least taste of what teams they will be seeing for Post 6. They'll be taking on a Las Vegas team out of Nevada. Pueblo Azteca, that's another team. They will also to see on Friday a team out of Texas, Burke Bennett, Texas. So they're going to be seeing a lot of competition where for Cheyenne Post 6, they've played a lot of local teams. The Gillettes, Caspers, again, the local American Legion teams. You even go out to Rapid City, those Post Legion teams. Jackson, again, encompassing the entire state. So now we're starting to see outside of the region, again, a little tougher competition. So hopefully Post 6 is ready for the challenge because they will be challenged coming up this weekend.
Well, and again, right now, I think, and without speaking on behalf of Ty, I think both he, along with pitching coach Jay Lane, they have to be extremely pleased with the effort that they're getting from the guys that are towing the rubber right now. They are. We saw it last night too when we were there with Brooks. I mean, again, keeping the ball down low, not getting themselves in trouble, and again, as we saw that from Gillette, walks came back to bite them.
Yeah,
and where Brooks and Treble were pretty efficient on the mound. Trying to do it in as minimal pitches as they can, but again, keeping the ball low, not and again, you're going to make an occasional mistake for a base hit or whatever. But I was very impressed watching Brooks, especially last night, the way he attacked the Rough Rider hitters.
Yeah, again, for post six, at least pitching's been phenomenal. Again, not a few shutouts so far in this season. We already had a no by post six toss, so. It is something that they can hang their hats on and hopefully at least get advantage, or at least will be a nice advantage heading down to these major tournaments again. They have Pueblo coming up. They will be out in Omaha once again. They got a lot of big tournaments and a lot of big teams that they'll see to continue and, again, kind of bolster this record to, again, as their end goal, obviously it is to win state, but also to get past that Northwest Regional and make it to at least the World Series and get an opportunity that Post 6 has never had. So, again, we'll see what happens going forward, but coming up this weekend, hopefully at least the games that they played, again, 23-9 overall, hopefully it's prepared them for what they're going to see coming up this weekend, where down in Pueblo, I would assume, a little bit better weather. At least clear skies, a little sunny, a little hot.
20 degrees warmer.
Yeah, at least I would assume wind's not going to be a factor. Coldness is not going to be a factor. Granted, it has not bothered this team, but it's going to be a nice change of pace that Cheyenne Post 6 does not have to play in those conditions coming up this weekend, as, again, they'll be starting up on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, again, where Sunday will be the championship game if they are able to make it down in Pueblo.
I don't know what the deal with our weather is up here, but it sucks. I'm about over this stuff. It's just, like I said, you and me go out there last night, and again, I bring a sweatshirt. I
don't think we've had decent weather any weekend series that any team, a Post 6, Mustangs, whoever has been competing. Again, I even go back to about a couple weekends ago where Extreme in action over at Converse. I mean, it was sunny, or at least it was warm, but it was still about 20-mile-per-hour winds gusting around town. So we have not had a perfect day here in the city. So, but that also, too, could be beneficial for a lot of these teams where they've battled these elements early on here to start these seasons and, get challenged if they run into it anywhere else against these competitive teams that may not have at least be used to weather conditions that are out here, especially here in Cheyenne or at least in the Rocky Mountain region. So,
well, and again, like I said, it just didn't make, again, for me, and obviously I've played in this stuff before, whether it's softball or baseball, but, sitting there and watching it last night, man, it was uncomfortable for me. Not the game itself was good. It was just that I can't handle it.
Well, and it affects the players as well, too. Again, you got to make sure that they're not getting sick from this stuff where, again, the temperatures go up and down. Hey, as human bodies, we're not used to that extreme.
They're younger, and
yeah, but you still can get sick, though. I mean, let's be honest. Again, you're around, multiple entities crammed into at least a dugout where maybe someone's got a cough or a sniffle here. It translates because due to the weather of where, again, it fluctuates out here, and it might alter. So it is something for, for the managers of these teams you got to worry about.
Well, this is one of the things that I like, especially with us being in media, when we go to a Cowboys game or when we were down at in Fort Collins. I can't remember the name of that stadium there, the new CSU Ram Stadium. But my point is, we're indoors. We don't have to battle the elements, so to speak.
You can go indoors at Powers Field.
You could, but
sit with all those.
Well, we're not working though, so that's just it. We're outside. We're out there to watch a game, but yeah, we were sitting in the sunshine, and that didn't matter. It just got a little bit on the chilly side.
Like I said, it's been like that this all the way up until here we are, June 12th. Weather has just not been kind to, at least out here in this part of the world. It's just been pathetic and awful.
And by the time the weather gets better around this part of the world, hey, season will be over.
Yeah, by the time it gets warm.
It'll be football
I'm
season.
just saying, by the time it gets warm and better weather, our teams, or at least regarding the Mustangs, Extreme, Post 6, they're on the road. They're dealing with tournaments around the region, going down south, out east, up north, wherever it may be. They're not going to be playing in town, so they don't get to take advantage of that warm weather. So, it's just the nature of the beast out here in Cheyenne with what we have to deal with being on the high plains.
Right.
So,
well, a couple of big wins anyway last night against the Rough Riders for the Post 6 squad. I think, the veterans on this team that have been through this, that were through it last year, and now the younger guys that are, making their first appearance on the varsity, you could see the gelling together of this team. And
it's a team that doesn't look like it's missed a whole lot of beats from last year. Again, what we saw.
I think pitching is their key right now. I mean, they could go as far as that pitching holds up.
Well, pitching was pretty solid last year as well, too, of what Post 6 had. Again,
I actually think it's a little better this year. I might be wrong, but I think the pitching is a little bit better this year.
I think, again, pitching, about on par. I think the only Achilles heel, or at least issue for Post 6, and it's not even the bats. Again, offense can show up. It's more so of defense and miscues, and something that Ty has talked with us about. Again, we got to work on those fundamentals and just making smart plays. We saw one, or I don't think you were there for it, but again, even base running, there's a little issue we saw at least in the first game against Gillette last night of where, again, we had a situation of not realizing how many outs were on the board. We had runners that moved on, at least assuming that they were able to, and unfortunately, base running cost them. And again, it was a just quick and out, at least double play just like that, where you saw Ty talk with that player and just say, hey, you got to think smart out here on the base running. So,
yeah. Watch your coaches.
Yeah, it is something still early on in this season, still plenty of baseball left, but that's the only problem right now with Post 6, and again, Ty has talked with us about that, of defense needs to get a little bit more crisper for his liking, and also, too, just being smart with what you're doing with that baseball and just on the base pass as well. So,
all right, well, we're going to take a timeout. We come back. Nick posted something on our Wyoming Sports Talk Today page.
Well, I posted a lot. We could even keep on the theme of American Legion, too.
Well, if you want to go ahead, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, there was also, too, regarding a local team that's made national spotlight, or at least national news, that's gone a little viral from at least across, 45 miles to the west. A team out there with the Laramie Rangers.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know if you saw it, but it was something I posted on Wyoming Sports Talk today that is, again, it's made its viral round of an infamous moment between Miles City and it was...
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so it was...
Little fisticuffs.
Well, yeah, again, if you've not seen the infamous play that was posted, again, it got national spotlighted. It's all over the place. I think it's got around 1 million views at this point, but it does reflect, it was Miles City, Montana, taking on Laramie Rangers up in Miles City, I do believe, where Miles City pitcher ended up plunking a Laramie Ranger in the back. Looked like a little jarring was happening. Pitcher for Miles City happened to just give the bird to the player as he's trotting off to take his base. And then, they got into it, started fighting, again, brawling. And eventually those two players got ejected out of that game, go figure. But just not the greatest publicity for the Laramie Rangers.
No, but also, too, give the umpires credit. Because if you look at the video, the umpires get in the fray.
Oh, yeah, they separated
They jump
instantly.
in it right away. And there's only 2 of them now. Remember, there's only 2 umpires doing these games. And they got in there where usually...
Well, it was upset, I think, even for the Miles City coach. He got into the thick of it and started tossing players off as well. But, they kept it calm compared to where we've seen in MLB or some... at least minor league baseball, where again it's bench clearing brawls that where multiple at least entities are getting at it. It was just the pitcher and the batter getting into it, and that was it.
Right, and me personally, I've only been involved in a couple of brawls in my life. One was in high school. As a matter of fact, it was against my dad's alma mater, Mount Diablo. We were playing the Mount Diablo Devils there, and I was a junior, so I can't remember what caused the brawl, but I'm telling you, it was all out fighting. I mean, we were getting after it. The umpires just kind of backed off.
Yeah.
And, there were guys like myself trying to be peacemakers, holding guys back, and then there was other guys that were on the ground fighting. And then I remember my senior year in high school, we were playing Joe DiMaggio. and we had an incident, and we actually, and this is not something I'm proud of, but we actually got kicked out of the Joe DiMaggio League for fighting because our reputation had crossed over the lines from high school and moved into our summer program. So we were like under scrutiny after one incident, and here we go, bing bang boom. We had a little bit of, and again, a little foggy for me to remember the exact happenings. But when benches cleared, the next thing you know, we got a phone call the next day from our coach saying, baseball has been disbanded in Pittsburgh because we've been booted out of the league.
Well, nothing like that's going to happen here with Laramie, with the Rangers.
No, it's just it's a rare occurrence that happens, but there will be some penalties handed out for this.
Oh, I would not doubt. And interested to see what the ramifications of this is. It's just almost very funny to talk about this, where again it affects a local team just across the hill there in Laramie with this team, but brings up a lot of interesting questions about what happened. Again, for Post 6, that we'll see this Laramie Rangers team again. We'll have to take them on eventually, probably in that state tournament. You wonder if it's almost an advantage to know what recently has happened here in this situation where this team can get a little hot-headed at a point in time. Could you use that to an advantage if you're Post 6 or Gillette or Jackson or Casper, whoever, where that this team gets frustrated, that this team kind of gets in their mind mentality and, again, creates an all-out brawl, but that they're a team that is almost a loose cannon.
But also, too, again, the American Legion, as opposed to when I was playing Joe DiMaggio baseball, American Legion has some very strict guidelines about your behavior.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, if you recall when we went to the bash, it's a very protocol type of procedure that the American Legion pass along to the players.
Is that basically saying that these two entities for Miles City and for Laramie, that they should just be kicked off the team for this incident?
No,
or
I
what?
think what will happen is
we'll have some sort of suspension.
There will be some suspensions divvied out, against the main culprits. But the thing is, though, and I don't have them with me, but again, there's a list of rules from the American Legion. Again, we forget American Legion baseball. Kids are on the field playing baseball. They're representing American Legion Post number 6 over in East Lincoln Way. They are a representative of how the American Legion operates.
That's why I'm asking, though, again, for Laramie out there, where this is a little bit of a black eye. Not so much. Again, it did make its rounds across the nation. It is a viral video. Again, like I said, it at least from what I saw, it was well over 1 million views. So, and it's got the national spotlight. I mean, it brings a little bit of a black eye to Laramie and that community, and if not that American Legion Post, of going, well, we're a mockery because of this. This is what we are now currently known as for the Laramie Rangers, of being a kind of at least due to this one individual.
I think
it's a little bit of a bad situation. So that's why I'm wondering, what are the ramifications of this? Do I think that the player, at least for both Miles City and also too for Laramie, should be just removed, no longer play baseball? No, I think that's a little too harsh. But could it be a possibility?
It could happen, yeah. I don't know.
Is that the direction that Laramie will take with this?
Well, and again, too, this is up to the Laramie American Legion Post.
Yeah.
Again, what are their rules in place? And I would venture to say, without having them here in my hands and without having Ty sitting down with us, it depends on what they're going to do. Because, again, there's a board. There's an American Legion board.
Well, I'm just saying, take of what, again, knowing the board, and we've met the board here for the Cheyenne Post, but again, with everything that you know in front of you, and is this something that is as blatant, or at least is this a bad thing for Laramie of what happened with this viral video? Again, where people do know, or at least here in the state, we do know it regards the Laramie Rangers.
I think this is what this is.
I mean, is this
an unfortunate incident?
Yeah.
I really believe it is, Nick, because again, we've been doing the show, you and me now going our third season, and the thing is, we have
2 years.
Yeah, but we have not ever mentioned any of the Gillettes or the Caspers or the Laramies or Jacksons, anybody being booted for fighting.
Yeah.
We haven't had that happen.
Well, again, this is something that was videotaped and it happened to at least at the right time, or at least they were. And again, what we offer as well, we have that opportunity to spotlight those incidents, or at least we again here in 2019. Cameras and all that stuff is going to be there front and center, and again, it will get picked up however it may be. But again, have there been incidents with Gillette, with Casper, with Jackson? Again, don't know, because again, it hasn't blown up like this did for Laramie and Miles City. This was your stereotypical viral video that got passed along, and is now again where Miles City. And the Laramie Rangers, because of this, and again, of a negative.
But we've seen also viral videos of high school football games that go awry. I mean, all of a sudden, how about East Central basketball?
Well, that didn't hit 1 million views like this.
I understand that, but I mean,
this is a nationwide thing.
I understand that it's nationwide, but again, this is a once. I don't even know when the last time Laramie was involved in an altercation.
Oh, yeah.
I said.
I couldn't tell you that either, but I'm just saying with how extreme this has gotten, how big it has gotten, is this something that is now, is this something of, for Laramie, for that Rangers baseball program, this is what it's kind of known for now.
Here's what it has to happen. The Laramie American Legion Board has to get together, and they have to determine, after looking at the video, all of the culprits that are involved, all of the entities that are involved. And then they're going to have to decide, and I'm just going to pick you out, Nick, that Nick Proetti started the incident, or he didn't go down the line, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You're suspended. Now, whether you're suspended for the remainder of the season, that's up to the Legion Board. Don't know what their rules are in place. But somebody is going to go out. If people came charging onto the field from wherever, the bullpen or straight out of the dugout.
And it looked like it did.
And again, too, then you're going to look for people that were trying to be peacemakers, like coaches and umpires.
Yeah.
You're going to commend those entities for being on the Johnny on the spot. But if there was other guys that were starting some type of altercation, whether they threw a fist or whatever, they possibly will face suspension too. Again, don't know what the length of the penalties are going to be.
And again, it's going to be interesting to see how this gets divvied out, or at least a punishment, because is this only just a Laramie and Miles City Legion thing to determine, or again, with the national notoriety, is this something also too that the national, or at least
you leave it in the locals' hands.
I'm just saying, will we see national at least get involved with this of the American Legion and divvy out of saying, hey, Laramie, you need to take care of this. Miles City, you need to take care of this. This is unacceptable.
Bring this before Congress?
No, I'm just saying, though, again, with how extreme it is, or at least the notoriety, again, does it need necessity, or at least necessarily
it doesn't.
The national
Leave
spotlight?
It to the locals. Let them take care of their own problem.
I'm just saying that's the question. Will it expand out?
Have you seen anything extra about it? No,
not yet.
No, and and this happened a week ago. I saw the video like 4 days ago. I saw it while you were gone.
That was posted like a couple days ago. Not even that. I thought it happened this weekend.
All right. Well, either case, I saw it before you did. So I was out here the weekend and I saw it. So I know I saw it.
I guess. Like I said, either way, though, there's probably something that's come down, or either they're waiting to make that decision. I don't know. Who knows?
And again, I don't know there's not much being said, whether it's here in our own local paper about it. Not much is being said. I think what they're doing is they're, again, letting the Laramie American Legion Board handle it, take care of it. Nobody nationally is lipping off about it. I don't think you've seen anything. Have you?
I have not really been looking at it, again, where I've only recently found this. But, again, has it been brought up national? Yeah, it has. I mean, it's been showcased. I know that. Again, why would some big sports, at least outlets, be posting this, or at least talking about it? So there has to be,
because it's news. I mean, it's
something shocking, or at least it's something of going, hey,
it's something that was totally unexpected, and it was no different than watching the big boys fight. I mean, that's exactly what happens. But again, what happened between Laramie and Miles City is not the first rodeo, and like I said, I was involved in 2 of them. In 74 and 75.
Yeah.
And in one case,
Yeah, and it wasn't a week ago, as I'm looking at it, June 9th, or at least June 8th. Is
Okay, so I
saw
it the next day. I saw it on the 9th.
I'm just saying it happened recent, so there's probably time still to get things determined, or at least they're working on figuring out what needs to be done.
Yeah, and again, too, I don't. There's got to be a governing body here in Wyoming of American Legion.
Well, yeah, we know that. There is a Wyoming State, at least, governing body.
So they're going to first, I would think they're going to leave it to they've probably been in contact with the Laramie American Legion board, given their thoughts, and again, looking at their, I'm sure their rule book is already, printed in, and they probably have gone through, they've been in discussions, and what they're going to do is say, this is what we recommend, and the American Legion board will have to act on it.
Yeah.
So that's all there is to it.
Like I said, I think for this situation, if in my opinion, neither player deserves removal from the team. Just probably like a few game suspensions about that. But like I said, I just tossed out the questions of with how big it got again, where I'm not even seeing as I'm looking and researching this, or at least searching it, not even sports sites are picking this up. We got like the Daily Caller here and some international sites that are showcasing of, hey, kind of check out this wacky thing from the Americas or what happened out in South Dakota. With the notoriety and the national spotlight that it is, where, again, it posts of Miles City, Montana, the Laramie Rangers. Again, those programs who are involved. Is it such a big deal that it's going to go above and beyond of where I'm saying of what they deserve of just few game suspensions?
Right.
But again, with how big it got, are these programs going to go above and beyond and say, no, you're just removed because of the bad name you've now given to this program?
And again, too, what you have to do as that person, you got to apologize in front of the American Legion.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, you are a representative of the American Legion Post. You will go to their next meeting and you will stand before them and apologize for your behavior on the field, because that is not the code of honor, so to speak, that you have with the American Legion. Again, American Legion Baseball, Nick.
That's not even just American Legion.
American Legion Baseball is set to a different standard than high school baseball. Or, like I said, my summer program, Joe DiMaggio, or even to the Mustangs, Connie Mack. It's a different standard. And you have to respect that uniform that you wear, whether it's Laramie, Jackson, Cheyenne, whatever the case may be. And you will have to be accountable. You are going to be held accountable for your actions.
Yeah.
So the young men that are playing, that were involved, will have to go before those programs and apologize for their behavior, because that is unbecoming an American Legion baseball player.
Yeah.
Again, they have higher standards. Trust me on that.
Well, I don't doubt that, but like I said, it is a big question of what's going to happen. See what is going to be the ramifications. Will it be an extreme punishment, or will it just be kind of the run of the mill?
And I'm sure the rules are in place by the national office, because I'm sure the Miles City Laramie incident was not the first one that's ever happened in American Legion baseball.
No, absolutely.
And I'm sure when they finally had one of those happen umpteen years ago, the Wyoming State Board said, hey, this is what's going to happen. If you fight, if you come in, if you're an accessory, whatever.
Well, like I said, this is one of the rare ones, the few ones that got big, though, that got notoriety, that got nationwide exposure, where, again, it does happen. Let's be honest. Again, fights in baseball, whether it is high schools to the majors, it's bound to happen. But this is one of those few instances where it got big. Yeah. It got bigger than the local area. It went across the nation, where it puts Miles City on the map and it puts Laramie on the at least map. Again, those two programs, because you're now synonymous with this kind of goofy little brawl that you had.
Well, it also just shows me, too, kids are human.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're teenagers, go figure.
And again, it also shows that
they were heated. Again, you get plunked and you have emotions. And who knows what led up to that point? But, again, if you have those high emotions, or at least you're a little upset and you get plunked, go figure. And again, also, too, the pitcher didn't help when he's flipping them off.
But also, too, you know what it shows me as the manager of both those teams? That the team goes to bat for each other. The team will, even though there's two patrons going after each other, the team came out to either arrest the situation or to help that teammate. So again, it's a team sport. It happens. So unfortunately, this one went viral in today's world, like you said, of 24/7, everything being shown, and it's probably been shown to death right now. But again, it's just a situation where the Wyoming State American Legion Board has their rules in place. They've already talked to the Laramie American Legion Board, and whatever fines, whatever penalties will be divvied out, will be.
Yeah.
And Laramie might have a couple, 3 games where they have just enough guys on the field to play.
I don't think it'd be that extreme.
I don't know.
I hope not. It's such a goofy play and a goofy incident where nothing major should come of this, but you just wonder what is going to be the finite result.
See, and you go back to, and again, this is...
And we need to get a break here.
I know, but this is going off track, though. But going back to the East Central game. Look what happened with the penalties that were divvied out for that. Look who got suspended.
You saw teams get into it where, in this situation between Laramie and Miles City, it was just kind of a few individuals. It wasn't both teams brawling with each other like East Central.
You saw guys coming off the bench, and those are the ones who suffered the penalties. Those that left
but they were
bench.
getting into it. That's the difference is they were getting into it with East and Central compared to Laramie and Miles where it was just select few. It was the hitter and the pitcher. It looked like that was only getting after it and everyone else was trying to...
Then everybody else comes out. Yeah, and again, what else was done in between? That's why they're going to look at that film, which they probably have dissected that thing over and over. We do need to take a time out, as Nick mentioned. We'll be right back with more of Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words. Looking for an IT company with friendly, local customer service and the expertise to handle any job? Then go with a name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. We handle everything from business network management to personal computer problems to same-day phone and tablet repairs. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being, local, polite, and eager to help. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
At Cheyenne Regional Medical Center Supportive Care, our mission is to help patients with serious illnesses live as well as possible for as long as possible. We address physical, social, emotional, and spiritual needs for each patient and their families or caregivers to improve their quality of life. If you feel that you or a loved one may benefit from supportive care, please call 307-633-7952 or ask for a referral from your primary care provider.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Come one, come all. The Capital Lumber Company's 11th annual Bell Santa races on Wednesday, June 19th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. The entry fee is free, and you can register today at the Capital Lumber Company inside. Also, you can do it on their website and Facebook page. Prizes will be awarded for first, second, and third, and most creative belt sander. It's fun for the whole family at Capital Lumber Company's 11th annual Belt Sander races, Wednesday, June 19th at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A. The most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 69. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 48. On Thursday, it'll be partly sunny with a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon with highs around 78. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 49.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ball game. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. As Nick said, we'll keep it in Laramie if you missed out. 3 University of Wyoming football players announced via Twitter, which everybody seems to do, that they plan to transfer.
There's no surprise there. I don't know why you kind of mock that. It's the easy way to get that information out there to saying, hey, this is big news. I want everyone to know about it because, again, Twitter is that easy way to get that information out to, whether it's friends, family, even media outlets of saying, okay, here's my plan.
All right, so the 3 that are planning to transfer, redshirt freshmen, I say his name, Real Jackson,
sure,
Devon Brown, and sophomore Jelani Ellison posted that they have entered the NCAA's transfer portal. All 3 were part of UW's 2018 recruiting class.
Yeah.
Jackson suffered Achilles tendon injury during fall camp last summer and was limited during spring drills. Ellison played in 6 games last season but didn't record any stats. None of the 3 players appeared on UW's post-spring depth chart in April. Now, Jackson's departure leaves UW, and this story's in the Wyoming Tribune-Eagle, by the way, as well. Jackson's departure leaves UW with only 1 scholarship running back with game experience, and that would be Valladay. UW signed 3 running backs as part of its 2019 recruiting class. That will be a true freshman this season.
You can, at least besides the paper, you can also read it on 7220sports.com. Again, Cody Tucker has a article on that as well, too.
I'm giving it the abbreviated version.
But either way, though, again, with the 3 departures now, again, adds on to the others that we've seen in this offseason. Again, for the University of Wyoming. Again, it
totals out to how many now?
I think we're pushing around 7 in total, where, again, we had, at least with Theo Dawson, running back that was transferring out, also to Javon Bigelow, who was announcing that he was leaving the program for personal reasons. Again, for Division I schools, even for here in at least with the University of Wyoming, national with Alabama, Ohio State. I mean, stuff like this does happen. But again, obviously here in the state of Wyoming, it's going to get a little showcase a little bit bigger because, again, we are, it's our only school, our only destination for, at least for football. But also, too, it brings up the other bigger question right now for the University of Wyoming. Right now on the roster, you only got 2 running backs, and that's Valladay, who, again, had a interesting year. Again, looked kind of a little bit promising. A guy out of Louisville, or at least transfer out of Louisville, or at least, he's not. Trey Smith is, but again, you're down to Valladay and Trey Smith as your running backs, at least options so far for the Wyoming Cowboys, who, as we saw last year, went by running back trial by committee of who, you didn't know who they were going to toss out there, but it does bring up the question. Where are we going to find these entities, or what's going to happen now?
Or we are going to rush one of the 3 in this year's recruiting class. Rush them through the process.
Yeah, you're going to have to at this point in time, unless there's someone that's willing to, or at least on this kind of transfer portal, like, for instance, these 3 that just recently went up there, that Wyoming can at least contact and say, hey, we got room. You may be a backup, or you might compete for the starting role. Here's your opportunity. And, again, do they have scholarships available, or at least able to toss people money? Again, that's all to be determined. But, again, right now, the big question is, what does Wyoming do right now where, again, you have 2 running backs, but you need to at least find one more, whether it's within the system or look outside. And will they do that? You'd like to think so.
Well, I think what's going to happen is they're going to have the 2, and then one of the 3, maybe 2 of this true freshman class will be, not doing a redshirt year. They're going to be listed on the depth chart.
Yeah.
You would want to carry minimum 3 running backs, but you also could take a red shirt off too. So, worst case scenario, if one of the of these 3 kids, 2 of them get red shirted, one may need that red shirt off because running backs do go down.
Yeah.
They do get injured. Now, in the case of Jackson, I'm sorry.
I was just say regarding at least these transfers, it's also too nothing that on my end, or I would assume on your end, and no one across the state of Wyoming should read into this as, oh no, it's bad times or something's a little fishy right now for the University of Wyoming with Wyoming Cowboy football. I don't read that at all. Again, as you mentioned, or at least alluded to, again, a lot of them didn't make it to that at least post-spring roster. So, again, hey, if you're upset or don't want to be a part of the process, and you want to test the waters to see if you can get some start time or at least some playing time, have at it. But is it something where I would call these defections? Not really. I think it's just more so if they were, they expected more and they didn't get it here with Wyoming.
I think in the case of Jackson, the redshirt freshman who, again, we're talking Achilles tendon injury.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something you just don't come back, and we'll talk about that later on with KD, who went through the surgery and what the time frame is for you to get back. But, again, he has the injury during fall camp last year, limited to what he could do in spring. This rehab takes a lot longer than 5, 6. I gave it minimum 6 months. But also,
it's probably more like 9.
But also think about it too with these young men, and I'm reminded of Kyle Wright over at Laramie County Community College here a couple seasons ago when he got injured. And I remember, I think, talking with the trainer, Megan Shiflett, where she said, hey, he's having a hard time adjusting to it because it's his first injury ever.
Well, and that could really mess you up.
And again, too, a lot of these kids that come in to, Division I football from the high school ranks, yeah, they get banged up, they get bruised, but, they haven't been on crutches before. They haven't had to go, have a doctor, test their knee or cut into their knee or anything like that.
Well, and also, too, talking about a lot of these incoming freshmen that may transfer out, again, whether it's Wyoming, whether it's Alabama, Ohio State, any program, again, a lot of these freshmen do have that expectation of, or at least where, you come from the high school ranks, and even when we talk with JUCO products on basketball side for LCCC, again, a lot of them are used to starting time or at least playing and putting up valuable minutes for their teams. Now heading up to the next level.
And they're used to not losing either.
Well, that too, but I think it's more of the issue of you're used to starting or at least giving valuable minutes to your program. Well, heading into at least D1 or the University of Wyoming, where they probably have that expectations or they're used to that. Craig Bull and that staff go, hey, we got others ahead of you. They're playing a lot bit better than you are. Slow your roll and develop.
But also, too, and I've said this before, and this was brought up to my attention many years ago, you don't go to the University of Wyoming to sit the bench.
No.
If you are not being picked up by the big schools and you end up at the University of Wyoming, you're expecting to start. You're not expecting to ride the pine.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of these kids come from very good programs. They come from winning programs.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're on a program that's not winning and not going to bowl games because, again, you were addressed at your home by, hey, and we've been here and we've done this.
Well, like, for instance, again, with Devon Brown, given at least, again, the guy who is, or at least one of the entities that's transferring now, he's a redshirt freshman defensive end from Antioch, California. Again, competing out there where California very competitive. 2016.
They were our rivals, the Panthers.
2016 All-Bay Valley Athletic League honorable mention at tight end. So, again, a guy who is used to winning and also to being a phenomenal product, who, again, as a freshman or at least a redshirt, said, I didn't come here to, at least he's not going to come out and say that, but hey, I want to start or at least have some valuable minutes for this team. I'm not here. Yeah.
That's cool that I'm getting a scholarship and getting my education paid for, but I come to play football. I want to start.
Yeah,
I'm at the University of Wyoming.
And it goes into, especially for Devon on his Twitter account, or at least what he said as he posted both his thoughts and everything, but at least the tagline on his tweet was, respect my decision or don't. I'm balling regardless. So obviously he wants to play. He wants to put in valuable minutes, and he wasn't going to get that with the University of Wyoming, so he's going to go out there and test the waters and say, hey, who's going to allow me to start?
Right.
And who's going to give me that opportunity?
Well,
and there's plenty of programs out there.
And also, too, you have to understand this. When you go from high school to collegiate football, there's a night and day difference of the talent level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Especially when you have...
Well, hell, we even know that on the JUCO side.
Yeah, but
we've talked to players that are going, wow, this is a lot faster, a lot stronger.
And again, too, that's exactly what these guys are running into. And I'm not saying that Devon Brown wasn't ready for it, but again, when you come out and you go to the weight room and you're watching these guys push, 350, 400 pounds on the bench, and again, too, you were doing 275.
Yeah.
You need to catch up. So again, the seniors and you're starting over too. Think about this also, Nick. You graduated all these honors at Antioch, all right, and like you said, all East Bay honors, and then you move on to the University of Wyoming. You're not bigger than life coming from the East Bay area to the University of Wyoming. There are kids from Colorado. There's other kids from California. There's other kids from Nebraska, Wyoming. Depending where all of these recruits come from, it's not that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
It'd be nice if you were, or at least
if
Wyoming gets that
you were
opportunity.
that dime in the rough, but you weren't that dime in the rough.
Yeah.
Also, too, I don't know when he was being recruited what coaches said to him. Hey, come here, you can do this. Again, they don't say you're going to be a starter. They're probably saying you can't be a starter if you do A, B,
I would hope
C,
that
D.
they're not promising that and then go against what they say. Again,
I don't think you can't do that.
But again, it is something where it sounds like with Devon, and I wouldn't doubt with a few other transfers. Again, it's not just at the University of Wyoming. It's around D1, D2, wherever it may be for football, even with basketball. Again, from at least reading into it for Devon and a few others, he wants to play, and he wasn't going to be able to do that with the University of Wyoming, where he had to sit back and develop, which it sounds like he didn't want to, and I don't blame him. Hey, you want to be that playmaker instantly, and he's going to test the waters and find that school that is desperate,
right.
Or at least they're going to say, hey, you are ready for us, and get you out there.
And he could have been sold a bill of goods that didn't come to fruition. We don't know.
Yeah.
And he's not going to say much. And, of course, the University of Wyoming is not going to say much about it either. They're going to let it all just
Craig Bowl
go in
will
the
just
wash.
say, hey, good luck to them, and move on.
Do we need to take another time out here?
Yeah.
And leading us up to the top of the hour, so we'll get you updated. We got Major League Baseball that's going on. The Rocks and the Cubs will get you updated on the scoreboard. Again, as Nick mentioned, 3 players leave, and that now makes a total of 7 that have left the University of Wyoming football program before summer fall camp.
Well, again, will more transfer out? That is the other question. Could be a possibility. Is this a slow slope towards something there at the University of Wyoming? I don't think so, but again, is this the first of many, or is it just kind of a slow bleed at this point in time for at least transfers out?
I don't know. And again, last season, and again, this is from the 2018 recruiting class, so this is from the class last year, not this year's class. Again,
last year's class that saw a Josh Allen-led, at least team that brought him to a bowl victory, or at least, again, didn't lead into what was this season of 2018 of how rough it was, so to speak, of again going 6-6, missing out a bowl.
Well, they all checked in to the University of Wyoming last year, whether it was at fall camp or spring camp.
Yeah.
So that class of 2018 had its on the field baptism with the University of Wyoming football program. Again, don't know what they didn't want. They were not going to get the playing time. Did not accept that. Didn't like the way the program is going, did not agree with the philosophy. There's a myriad of things that goes through the young man's life. Hey, maybe school was a little tough and they couldn't hack it. You never know, Nick. You don't know.
Like I said, also, too, of seeing this direction of where the University of Wyoming is headed, especially for football. Again, the whole team is a question mark right now, where I'm very curious to see what the preseason polls are going to be, at least placed in the University of Wyoming, especially in the Mountain Division of, it can't be that high. I mean, let's be honest, this team is not going to have high expectations, or do I anticipate this team competing for a Mountain West championship?
Let's run down the Mountain Division. Utah State, better.
I think Utah State's your number one team. I think Utah State's your number one team in the entire Mountain West.
Boise State, better.
I think they're good. I still think they'll be competitive.
I think Air Force is going to be a little better this year.
Oh, yeah.
New Mexico,
they stay.
All right, so basically, I'm going to give you the top 3 teams right now in the mountain. Utah State, Boise State. I'm going to put Air Force up there.
Yeah. New Mexico,
I
think
CSU,
just kind of stands
and Wyoming.
CSU is a question mark. Will Coach Bobo get that team moving in the right direction again? It was a team that did graduate a lot of people, lost a lot of people last year, and they felt the ramifications. Does CSU climb back out and find their direction in the right way again? CSU can get on that winning track.
Does Wyoming and New Mexico battle for 4th place?
I think so. I really do.
I
think they battle for 5th place, actually, because, again, I think CSU is a big question as well of if they can get firing under Coach Bobo and that team has enough personnel in battles a little bit better than it did last year. I think CSU can be your 4th place team or at least be competitive with an Air Force. But Wyoming and New Mexico, they might be fighting for dead last.
I disagree. I think it's going to be a battle between New Mexico, Wyoming.
I'm just saying. For Wyoming, they don't have a shot winning the mountain.
No.
I
don't think they're going to win the mountain, and I don't think this team's going to be a 500 team this year.
No, not looking at that schedule.
We've already gone through.
Yeah, going through that schedule.
There's no way they're going to be a 5. Again, right now, that's our opinion that they're not going to be a 500 team. Things that are going on offensively for the Cowboys as well as defense.
You lost that entire.
They're not going to be.
You lost that entire great defense that allowed you to be 6-6 last year. That allowed you to stay in with Wofford and get that win.
And this will be season 6 for Coach Craig Bowl, and again, no Mountain West Conference championship on the way for the Wyoming Cowboys. At least we don't see it in the distant future. We got to take a timeout. We'll come back and we'll get underway with hour number 2 after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Summer is just beginning, and it's a great time to plan all your home improvement and remodeling projects. This is Lexi.
And this is Aaron from Platte Valley Bank. A home equity line of credit can help finance summer projects, but can also fund summer fun like a boat, ATV, or even a convertible.
Stop in either Cheyenne location and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Credit subject to approval. Certain restrictions apply.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE-AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE. Right now it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
If you're looking for fun and style, then the new 2019 Kia Optima has what you need. And here at Kia of Cheyenne, we can help you own one. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Optima will reward your daily drive with comfort, performance, and advanced engineering. Kia Optima technology, your phone allows access to remote lock or unlock, climate control, 24-hour roadside assistance, and much more. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-thru window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-thru window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. or call 635-3712.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the day at Taco John's.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Thank you for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Interesting discussion that we had the first hour as we move on to hour number 2, and our program is being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, serving up bison cuisine at its best 7 days a week. First Tier Bank directly across the street, open Monday through Friday. See the great staff over there at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. And again, check out their special CD rates on a 27-month CD, 3.1 annual percentage yield. Lennox Auto Body, the main auto and truck repair center over on Dunn Avenue. The Auto Glass and Detail Center can be found on Pershing Boulevard. If you need to inquire, like your vehicle's been banged up like Nick's, you give them a call at 634-6608, and they'll take good care of you like they're doing on Nick's car presently.
Well, they also, too, give you text updates as well, too, so I know that the insurance went through and they're working on it again.
There you go. Medicat Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Same location as always. And, again, you always can depend on them Monday through Saturday on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank. 2 banking locations for you. The original on the north side on Vandehigh. Eastsiders, you can catch them at the corner of College and Pershing, Platte Valley Bank. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Again, my good friends AJ and Greg Miller and the entire crew invite you to come on by and test drive one of their absolutely gorgeous looking Kias. And again, the Kia family on display, 2019 model year, waiting for a new home. Hopefully it's yours. Check out Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field, and Menards. Ray and Cindy's place, where they serve up 3 awesome square meals. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're talking delicious eats and even treats. But you need to go to Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. Check them out today. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. They are the home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels and travel trailers. And again, special pricing, special finance rates so you can tour America in your Jayco this year. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. We also want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne. Again, congratulations on serving our community and the region for 50 years and still going strong. Taco John's of Cheyenne, where they remind you their sirloin steak burrito is right now on the menu. Whether you do breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you can have one of those delicious sirloin steak burritos. Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we get things underway. It's scoreboard time. Brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Recapping from this past weekend with Cheyenne Post, or at least last night, for Cheyenne Post 6s. They were in action doubleheader against the Gillette Rough Riders. Game 1, 5-0 victory for the Cheyenne Post 6. Game number 2 was a shutout as well in favor of Post 6, 4-0 in favor of Cheyenne Post 6. So with those 2 victories against Gillette, they are 23-9 overall. NHL action for tonight. Final game of this regular season, or at least postseason entire for the NHL. Game number 7 between the Boston Bruins and the St. Louis Blues. It will be in Boston at the TD Garden, as it will be on NBC at 6 o'clock tonight. Again, winner for the Stanley Cup. St. Louis looking for their first ever championship. Boston looking for their first since 2011. So that's what's coming up on NHL action for tonight.
Major League Baseball. This afternoon at Coors Field, the Rockies are getting pummeled by the Chicago Cubs. Bottom of the 9th inning, as the Rockies are trailing 10-0. Oof! Well, 2 out of 3. I guess that's how the Rocks are going to have to look at it against the Cubbies. 7th inning, top of the 7th right now at Fenway. Red Sox leading the Rangers 3-2. Finals in. Athletics 6, Rays 2 at the Trop, and at Progressive Field, the Reds beat the Indians 7-2. Games in the 5 o'clock hour. Diamondbacks at the Phils. Blue Jays will be in Baltimore taking on the Orioles. Cardinals, Marlins at Marlins Park in Miami. Pirates, Braves at around 5:20 at SunTrust Park in Cumberland, Georgia. It's a burb of Atlanta, oh, by the way. Tigers, Royals at Kauffman Stadium, 6 o'clock hour, 6:10. Brewers, Astros at Minute Maid Park. 6:10, we'll have the Mariners at the Twins at Target Field. Late night, 7:40 tonight in San Francisco at Oracle Park. It will be the Giants and the Padres forthcoming. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find a store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
About the Padres and the Giants because I was looking up some stats. Oh, by the way, Nolan Arenado for the Rockies today. He walked and he got plunked by Cole Hamels, and I think he was taken out precautionary by the Rockies. But I'm just looking at these three guys because, in addition to Josh Donaldson, made a pile of money in the off season or spring training.
Yeah.
So looking at the numbers right now for the we'll pick on Arenado. Having a great season thus far, 261 at-bats, 86 hits, 50 runs, 16 doubles, 17 homers, 2 triples, 57 RBIs. He's only whiffed 32 times, hitting .330. I know $30 million is a lot of cabbage, but so far for Nolan Arenado,
he's just doing his normal numbers.
Yeah, he's at least carrying his weight, paying for himself, right?
He's consistent. That's about all you can want out of the guy. So, again, he's not trending downwards. So, especially where this team is still kind of subpar. Still, even with the Rockies being above 500 at this point, again, a team that is not really well suited around Nolan Arenado. It is pretty much of him and a select few that are carrying this team. And that's about it at this point. Again, pitching's just pathetic. And the rest, again, you're talking about a team. Even I saw when they were taking on the same Cubs team, taking on Yu Darvish out there at Wrigley, Rockies just look pathetic. Again, there's a point where it's good to be aggressive, where saw a lot of swinging strikes against Yu Darvish for the Rockies, but it's also to a point in time where you need to start making contact with those things. It wasn't even they were getting foul balls. It was just pretty much of 1, 2, 3, swing, 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 and you're gone. And again, racking up, I think, in that entire game, if not below double digits, but again, flirting pretty high with Ks against the Colorado Rockies for Yu Darvish and company that came out for the Chicago Cubs to eventually wrap up that game and get that one-run win. Again, this team is, kudos to them being aggressive, but you need to start making contact.
They started the day 9 games off the pace. Will be 9.5 after today's loss.
They're not catching the Dodgers, let's be honest.
Oh, I know, but the Dodgers just have the day off. So let's look at the other big contract that was signed by one Manny Machado. Now, the Padres are under the Mendoza line right now.
They fluctuate for whatever.
They're 33 and 34.
They are in the same boat as the Rockies were.
Here's Machado's stats. And again, We're talking similar bucks here between him, Arenado, as well as...
I never got Machado, so again, the numbers you toss out are be whatever at this point. I don't understand what the hype was with Machado.
Yeah, what a waste, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, again, if I had to choose between Arenado or Machado, I go Arenado.
All right, well, here's Machado. 239 at-bats, 57 hits. He has 8 doubles, 10 home runs, 33 RBIs. He's whiffed 59 times. He's hitting a lofty 238 right now with the Padres.
Does that surprise me? No, I thought, for whatever reason, again, Manny Machado, the guy I feel like is just way too overhyped for what he is. Again, had solid years with Baltimore. Really, again, did Baltimore do anything special with him being a part of that? Not really. Again, they had some playoff runs, but other than that, though, Manny Machado is not the guy, the feared hitter, or at least the guy that deserves big money, who can change a franchise around. I still don't think he's going to do that for the San Diego Padres if they're able to build around him. I don't think he's that entity to help out and get the Padres to the promised land, especially here in the NL West, where
and they got him for 10 years.
Well, we'll see. There's been entities where you had those long-term contracts, and eventually look at what the Giants had to deal with. But again, will he be there full 10 years? I highly doubt it.
I doubt it too. But who's going to want to pick up his contract? Here's a guy.
There's going to be teams out there.
Here's a guy that's in for 12 years and signed for big bucks. Bryce Harper. Here's Harper's
He's
numbers.
been very surprising.
Harper, 251 at-bats in 67 games, 63 hits, 21 doubles, 11 home runs. He's got 46 RBIs. He's whiffed 87 times and got a batting average of 251. So far, as you look at...
If anything, I give kudos to Phillies where, for Philadelphia, they built a good core where, Bryce Harper was that added entity or at least added bonus to that team, but they've solidified themselves and did moves in the offseason besides Bryce, where they didn't put all their eggs in the one basket like Manny Machado, where the Phillies are kind of set in stone where, hey, you're just added bonus. If you get hot, cool. That just means that we're even more dangerous in the NL East.
Well, you sit there and you look at quarterbacks in the NFL, okay? And Kirk Cousins, for example. You look at guys that were making $28 million.
Well, your highest paid quarterback right now is Russell Wilson.
I understand, but I'm saying, guys like Kirk Cousins, when they're signing these big deals, and again, and I'll even throw Garoppolo out there to a certain degree, but you look at these guys and they're making phenomenal dollars, and they're average players.
Yeah.
Okay? Machado, along with Harper, and we'll give them their due. They're good players. But right now, the litmus test after 65, 67 games, Machado's hitting 230. That's not cutting it. For $30 million?
Again, that's up to the San Diego Padres. We want to toss out that money where, they thought that he was going to be that franchise player. I've never believed in that. I thought it was a questionable move for the Dodgers even picking him up. I thought he was just more of a head case than anything. But, again, is it going to take Machado maybe this year or next to kind of get adjusted to things out in San Diego? For Bryce Harper, does it take him this season to get adjusted and then start firing off of the Phillies come up in next year? Who knows?
So you're giving him a pass.
Not really. Again, you would think that for Bryce Harper's the big surprise of where he should just kind of pick up and carry on where he left off in Washington and just have at least another good season for the Phillies. But what is the situation or what's been the issue? I don't know. For Manny Machado, I just thought he was a solid player. I didn't think he was worth big money. I never thought he was a franchise player or anything like that. So what he's tossing out right now for San Diego doesn't surprise me. I'm
right now the ownership of San Diego. This is me. I'm the ownership of San Diego, and I'm calling the general manager.
I think if you're the ownership of San Diego, this is the move you wanted to make because I wouldn't doubt that ownership and the GM. You're desperate at this point in time if you're the Padres because they've been a pathetic franchise for a long time right now.
And they're not good.
I think the Manny Machado signing was a desperate move by a team that was desperate to get some winning nature back in that franchise, to get him out of the bottom of the basement, or at least get him away from where the Giants have been at for at least the past couple seasons. They just wanted to win now, and they thought that Machado could be the guy to help this team and revitalize this franchise. Now, again, San Diego has done well for themselves. They flirted with being number one in the NL West early on. It's a team that has been on a roller coaster ride like the Rockies of going from their highs and lows. Where the Padres will be at least at the end of the season,
under 500.
I think they flirt with 500. I don't think they are above 500 team, but I think they will flirt with 500. But it will be an improvement from where they've been at in the past couple seasons of just being a pathetic franchise.
And interesting to note that Machado came over to the Dodgers last season, so he stayed in the West.
Yeah,
by signing with the Padres. It's also interesting to note that Harper stayed in the East after going free agent and signing with Philly instead of opting not to go with the Nationals or the Giants. Everybody else that was wooing him. But again, Harper's not an average hitter. He's not a 300 hitter. He's going to get you.
He's your home run power guy.
But he's hitting 250 right now. I mean, again, look at the scratch laid out for Bryce Harper hitting 250. Look at the scratch laid out for Manny Machado hitting 233.
Well, again,
and Arenado hitting 330.
For Bryce, you're just looking at for the big hits. You're looking at for the home runs, again, where he can get the doubles as well. Again, I think you mentioned that he's got pretty decent, at least, doubles so far on this season. That's what you're wanting for him. Again, the average, you don't really know Bryce Harper for his average, or at least that's nothing that kind of comes to mind for him. That's the only situation. Again, is it weird that he's having a tough time getting adjusted, or at least the number's a little low than I thought they'd be at this point for Bryce? Yeah. Could they trend upward? I think absolutely. Again, Bryce is that player that can turn things around, ramp things up. When you get into the dog days of summer, absolutely. But will it happen this season? Nothing is really indicating that it will. It almost seems like he'll have kind of an average year with the Philadelphia Phillies. And again, I think for the Phillies, they're very thankful at this point in time, or at least it was a smart team that was building, didn't put all their eggs in one basket, like again with Machado and the Padres, where we don't need to rely on you, Bryce, to take over the East or at least win the NL East over the Braves. No, we have other pieces that can help you out if you are slacking. And that's what we're seeing right now with Philadelphia.
Well, and the thing, too, that I'm driving at, and again, obviously Nolan has paid for himself if we're going to go by today's numbers that he's delivering. But I'm also looking at the strikeouts. Again, today's Major League Baseball player, again, opting to go for the fences, not playing the small ball, trying to hit through the shift, which they can't do. They can't go opposite field.
And maybe money's feeling that then.
I don't know.
Again, what we give high standards, and it goes back years ago where I talked on this program with you. We talked with even Jerry Schimmel for the Colorado Rockies, where we had two Rockies at least on the MVP ballot. Again, where I do believe with Blackman, with also too, again, with Nolan. But who I told both of you, and I told everyone during that year for the MVP voting, who is going to get more attention is the guy who's hitting the most home runs on a pathetic and terrible Marlins team. That was Giancarlo Stanton. Well, he did, because, again, those home runs got the eyes out there to Miami, got the eyes on him, and didn't care about what his contribution was to the team. It was, wow, look at what he's doing home run-wise, approaching 60 home runs, doing historic figures down there in Miami, where it really didn't do a whole lot for that franchise towards wins. Maybe that's where hitters are in this day and age of MLB, where, let's be honest, again, you look in years past and where we are now, Major League Baseball, home run hitters do get the attention. They do get the spotlight. They do get the money because, again, you're doing something that's phenomenal.
Yeah, and you look at all the position players, and shortstop back in the day, light hitters, number 8 hitters, maybe number 2 hitters. You look at a guy like Trevor Story. And again, because I was listening to some of the All-Star news, where Nolan at third base. But, you look at a Trevor Story where they're going, oh, gosh, right now he's not the number one guy. And to Story's credit, for shortstop, he's hitting 280 right now. But, again, I'm really discouraged by this. 268 at-bats, 75 hits, 16 doubles, 2 triples, 15 home runs, 44 RBIs.
81 strikeouts. He struck out twice today. To me, a strikeout is a wasted at bat.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you're at first or second base, and I'm whiffing. That's a wasted at bat. I want to move you. I want to get the ball. Back in the day, we wanted to get the ball out to the grass so you could tag and move on to the next base. To me, a strikeout is absolutely nothing. And these guys are getting paid big bucks to whiff.
Yeah.
And that concerns me because, again, today's ball player, obviously much different than a generation ago or 20, 30 years ago. Because, again, you look back at, and I was having a discussion about this the other day, Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs. You know, you look at these guys. They were George Brett, contact hitters, Rod Carew.
Pete Rose.
You know, sacrificing themselves to move a runner up or at least making contact to move runners or to get something started. And, you know, you sit here and you look at today's ball players, everybody wants to knock it out of the ballpark. And that's good.
And again, I think
great.
that comes with the territory of where a lot of these ball players see of the monies that are tossed around, again, where you don't have to worry about caps or anything. Again, where we're tossing out big monies by these franchises where, hey, 1 year you get hot or have a phenomenal season, it pays in dividends. It gets you spotlight, it gets you showcase, it gets you benefits, it gets you, signings and deals with brands, and it interests other teams of going, hey, we'll sign you long-term for this X amount of money because you just did this. It's going back to the NFL with Case Keenum in Denver. What have you done for me recently? Well, you saw that in Minnesota with Case Keenum of the one season, that great season that he had, and Denver went, perfect, we'll get you.
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing as what we're experiencing in baseball of, hey, you had one great season, I'll give you all this money.
Well,
and I think that's fueling a lot of ball players right now. Yes, I'm going to attempt to get that home runs. I'm going to try and get those big plays so I can get that spotlight, so I can get that money.
And here's Story's career right now. He's been in 464 games, 1,737 at bats, got 103 career home runs. He has whiffed 568 times. That's like every third at bat, he strikes out. Now he's got a career batting average of 271. But we look back in the day, and we look at Reggie Jackson. I'll never forget when he was with the A's, Angels, Baltimore, Yankees. Reggie was a guy who would whiff 130, 140 times a season. But the guy also parked 40-plus home runs every year. And probably hit about 260, 275, whatever the case. He had numbers that were good enough to get him into the Hall of Fame, obviously, in addition to being Mr. October. But you look at a guy like Story, where this year he is projected, the remainder of the season, he is projected to strike out 196 times.
That almost seems on par with what we're expected out of him. Again, go back. It was even last year, where last year it looked like he kind of digged himself out of that. But 2 years ago, where he was the strikeout king almost across the MLB of just being awful when it comes to at-bats.
See, to me, a strike...
That's almost, again, where you're talking about projected numbers with strikeouts, that's almost commonplace with Trevor Story. You expect that.
To me, striking out is an embarrassment. That's me.
I mean, it comes with a game.
I understand it, but
no one's going to be perfect.
I know, but me not perfect. Me personally, I hate to whiff. And I'm working on that every year, that I don't whiff. But the thing is...
But it brings up to me where I was saying, again, going back to the Cubs-Rockies game that I was at, a lot of those strikeouts were swinging. I mean, they were standing. And going back to my playing days, again, from as a kid and growing up, and something that is even taught, at least kind of in the minors, or, you listen to some of these, at least coaches, again, you'd rather see him attempt or at least swing at a strike, or at least something that is going to be a strike,
go down
than just
swing.
Instead of looking
get
at
called
the thing.
out. Yeah, looking.
So I mean, if it's nothing positive, or at least it's trying to put a positive swing on it, it is. I mean, they're being aggressive. The issue right now for the Rockies, and majority of these players they're just not making that contact.
Well, and that's the problem with the game. The game is either long ball Or
either it's pitching is getting a little bit better then, or are we going back? Are we seeing a resurgence of the year of the pitcher that we saw in the early 2010s? Again, where we saw those Giants teams be dominant with Tim, with with Madison Bumgarner, with again Barry Zito, where again it was pitching led, offense was bad, but your pitching was what kept you going.
I don't know, Nick. And again, too, we've got all of these defenses now. Again, the shifts that are in place. Where before, using Brandon Belt for an example, the shift is placed on him where he can't hit a lick to the left side. But then you go look at guys like KRAE, Wade Boggs, Tony Gwynn. They can hit everywhere.
Yeah.
These guys are either a pull hitter, and it's funny too because you'll see when they do the lamination on the TV where it says he hits 36% here, 25% here, 12% here, 1% there, whatever. These guys don't have good bat knowledge. They don't know how to control their bats. Ted Williams was the master at this. That's why a guy like Tony Gwynn and Ted Williams, when they talked hitting, they talked on the same plane. And it's just right now to see the amount of strikeouts. And now, again, I'm going to go back to what you said. Is pitching that much better? Could be. I don't know.
Isaac, we've already been through the era of that was, the year of the pitcher where we were seeing no-hitters, perfect games, complete game shutouts, where we had phenomenal pitching. Again, go back to the 2010, series with, again, you had the offensive powerhouse that was the Texas Rangers, and you have the pitching performance, or at least phenomenal starters by the San Francisco Giants, where they had no shot, and they got it done because of that pitching. On that offense there was really no one big. Again, you had Aubrey Huff, you had again, just name it a few.
Posey was his rookie that year.
Yeah, again, where he won Rookie of the Year, but that was kind of but also too he came in late in that season, but. There was no real big bat. Again, your World Series MVP was Edgar Renteria.
You had Pagan. There was not much hitting. But, you go back there, you had, like you said, Bumgarner was a rookie that year. You had Matt Cain, who was the established starter. Barry Zito, who was okay, but Lincecum was your main guy on that staff. And then you had Wilson coming out of the pen. And Romo was your setup guy. So you pretty much, if you got to Romo in the eighth, with Wilson coming in the ninth, it was pretty much a victory for the Giants back in the day. Because, again, Bochy pretty much did not let guys go the distance back then. And then you had other setup guys as well, too.
Like Affeldt,
Lopez, that was a pretty decent staff. But the thing is, though, today, it's just that when you get that chance to watch the game and they break it down where these guys hit and they're looking at that shift, these guys can't go to the opposite. It's wide open. Now, let me ask you this question here before.
But is that something that is being taught, or at least is not being taught in the minors, or something? Well, again, what's the translation error of, why are we so one-dimensional? Again, I saw those shifts in Chicago where we I think there was one instance where you loaded up the entire right side. There was no one standing in the left. They had that much confidence that you move every entity from second base in between first base and loaded up that side because you knew he was going to hit there, and guess what? He hit it that way.
Now, again, and I'll pick on a Brandon Belt, okay? And I hit from the left side as well, too. But you have the shift on. Why can't you, and again, I know sometimes that might be Bush because you're paid to hit it out of the ballpark, but what is not telling you in the back of your mind, hey, do you know how to bunt? Roll it down the left side? It's an automatic base hit. Yeah. Aren't you supposed to be on base? Get on base any way, shape, or form? Isn't that what managers yell at you all the time about? Get on. You got to make things happen. So, I just sit there and I'm just amazed at the way the game is changing, and strikeouts now are considered, you know what? It's no big deal. To me, it's a wasted out. And that's the way I look at it.
Well, again, is the game evolving? Is there the multiple factors of that players are just trying to hit the long ball for the money, for the namesake? Possibly. Is it the resurgence of pitching in Major League Baseball that is quieting down hitters again? There could be a multitude of factors right now, and again, all of it makes sense to me.
And I guarantee you, when I was pitching back in the day, Nick, I wanted to strike you out. I did not want you even touching the baseball.
Yeah.
So, because to me, that was my victory over you, and you couldn't do nothing to help your team. See, that's what I mean. Strikeout doesn't help your team. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back. Hey, KD, under the knife today. Back after these words.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner. This is the time of year you will see motorcycles riding around town and on the highways. All motorists are reminded to safely share the road with motorcycles and bicyclists and to be on the alert to keep these riders from harm. These could be your neighbors, your friend, or someone's mother or father. Motorcycles and bikes are cautioned to make themselves visible to other motorists. When you come to a stop, always look left and right before proceeding. This will help prevent an avoidable accident and will keep everyone safe. To all drivers on Wyoming roads, be mindful and vigilant. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, the Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, proven and respected when it comes to the care of your vehicle. For nearly 25 years, Cars has been there to repair and fix those minor problems to get you back on the road without major difficulties. And now, as we do more traveling at this time of year, see Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service first for your car or truck when it comes to tuning it up, an oil change, brakes, shocks, work on your air conditioning unit, and so much more. John and his crew at Cars gives your vehicle the precise detail it deserves. Respected with quality workmanship. Always bring your vehicle to Shine Auto Repair and Service at 604 West Lincoln Way. Call for an appointment at 632-0498. Open Monday through Friday. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 69. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 48. On Thursday, it'll be partly sunny with a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon with highs around 78. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 49.
Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Perotti along with Sonny Boy Nick Perotti. As we, we're already head into we're into the home stretch of our program for today. You posted on our Wyoming Sports Talk today page, KD, as he is laying in bed right now.
It was
surgery.
Now it's about an hour ago that we knew that he was heading out to New York, getting doctors, at least examinations, but didn't realize that he was just going right under the knife. But yeah, it was an Achilles tear. We knew that it came true. He got the surgery done and on the slow track to recovery, at least hopefully it is a fast track. But yeah, Katie officially done. For how long, that is the question. You brought it up yesterday, I think, talking about Kobe Bryant at age 34 coming back. I think the quickest 240 days. I think the longest of what we've seen of big names was most recent with DeMarcus Cousins, about 357 days. So you're looking at, for KD, again, where you look at the plus or the minus, shorten or long, it's almost, will we see him a year from now? Will we see him about 9 months? Again, the earliest was Kobe Bryant, 34 in 9 months. So it's going to be quite some time before we see KD back on a court.
Yeah, so with that being, and I gave it 6 months. I said maybe we would see KD somewhere around December. Now, again, we saw an injury this year on the LCCC women's basketball team where it was an Achilles tendon injury, and Coach Ortmeyer said to us, wasn't sure that she would be able to play again. Well, he's already got her penciled in for next season. Her rehab has gone very well.
But again, we're looking at many months since what has happened. So
on
par of what is normal.
It'll be a whole season. When we go back out there in November, that'll be a full year.
Yeah,
that she's had that opportunity to rehab. But you could see, she's walking on it. Not doing any, wavering back and forth on it. So in the case of KD, especially with all of today's medical technology.
Oh, yeah, and he'll get top of the line.
Yeah, he'll get, red carpet treatment, so to speak. He's going to be maybe beating that 9-month challenge. So where does 9 months put him at? It puts him in the month of April.
Yeah.
And we're, just getting the regular season done.
Or at least, this season done.
You're just getting the regular season done, and you're starting about the opening round of playoffs. So we're talking Kevin Durant. Again, here's a guy who makes buku bucks and is going to make buku bucks, and he deserves it. You don't have him at all next year. Now, again.
Well, and again, that brings up where free agency got a little bit more interesting as well, too, today with Kyrie Irving basically saying, hey, Boston, I don't want your money. I'm going to go to free agency. So, again, as people thought he was going to, he did. But for Kevin Durant, it does bring up the big question now of, again, does this put a sour taste in his mouth? Does he want to return with Golden State? Obviously the Warriors are going to do everything they can to keep him there, keep Klay Thompson as well, too, for Golden State. I anticipate that Kevin Durant will be a Warrior come up next season. But again, if he does test those waters and he does get picked up by a New York, by an LA, whoever it may be, you got to realize that he's not going to be an impact player for you. Again, for the Knicks, for the LA Lakers, where you are two franchises that are terrible. You need all the help you can get, and you're going to bring this guy in to hopefully help you win now.
Who wants to spend that kind of cabbage on a guy that can't even play?
Yeah.
There's a question mark.
He's not going to do anything for your entire season at this point in time. And if you make it to the playoffs, if you are New York, if you are LA, then possibly he might be on the court for you and make an impact. But, again, for those two franchises or for any other franchise that is going to try and go after a big name like this, like Kevin Durant, he's not going to be that impact player for you this season. You're going to have to sit and wait and sit out another year, possibly out of the playoffs. But I think, if anything, again, what happened, at least with Kevin Durant, this injury is just awful, and it couldn't happen to a worse guy.
A better guy.
Well, or at least, again, it was.
It shouldn't have happened.
It shouldn't have happened to him. Again, a guy who was just humble and, again, a phenomenal basketball player. Just awful what happened. But for Kevin Durant, you wonder if what happened, again, sour note to this playoffs, not being able to help out this team win another championship or at least contribute somehow, even though he did in Game 5 and then re-injured himself. But you wonder if that sits back in his mentality right now as he's sitting in that hospital bed of what could have been. Again, the big question of what could have been if I was here this year or if I was healthy with the Golden State Warriors. Could we have gone 3 in a row? And granted, again, Warriors still have an opportunity, but again, it's going to be the Warriors win 3 in a row, and they did it without Kevin Durant.
All right.
You wonder if that fuels the fire for KD to come back to the Warriors, and the Warriors get him signed to go, bad what happened last year, let's get it after this year, or at least in the postseason, let's do it again, and from the future on, again, as Golden State Warriors, again, as they transition to San Francisco as well, too, and new digs.
Let's weigh two of the possibilities that you mentioned. In San Francisco / Oakland, he's beloved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
And the Warriors will.
He's loved in the Bay Area, and I would say probably majority hated across the rest of the land.
Okay,
Again,
well,
going back to the decision, going out of Oklahoma City to Golden State again. He was known as the snake, the cupcake. Go back to OKC.
And he didn't even go to Washington. They thought he might even go back to his hometown. But the thing is, with KD, I think he's going to be a Warrior next year. And the Warriors are going to do everything in their power to bring him along slowly and properly. You're going to go to Los Angeles. You're going to go to New York. You're going to go to two media meccas that are going to barbecue you for not even being healthy. They're going to barbecue each franchise for putting out this kind of scratch for Kevin Durant, and he hasn't even put the ball on the floor yet.
Yeah.
And again, you got LeBron James, who's probably making all the calls right now in Los Angeles. Does KD really want to play with LeBron James? Ask yourself that question.
It really depends.
I think again, LeBron is a great basketball player. Never, ever will I take that away from him. But right now,
I think Kevin Durant, if he goes down to Los Angeles, he would certainly have to take a back seat to LeBron.
He's driving people away.
Wow.
New York, they're not going to win for the longest time.
Even though for whatever
reason, they can't even win the lotto.
Yeah, even for whatever reason, people are all in saying that he's going to be a Knick next year. I just don't see it. I really don't. New York, I would not doubt, is going to be very aggressive. Go figure. They should be. Like any other team for Kevin Durant, again, a player who is at this caliber, again, potential, again, guy, MVP candidate for the NBA. Everyone should be aggressive at the point in time to get Kevin Durant on your team. That includes even the Denver Nuggets or whoever it may be, but I just don't see Kevin Durant leaving the Golden State Warriors. I really don't believe that he's going to do that.
He's got a home with the Warriors.
Yeah.
Think about it. And he came to the Warriors to win championships. Guess what? They're in the mix every year that he's been there.
Yeah.
So, and what's to say they're not going to be in the mix next year? They're going to go after – they're going to make sure they can get Thompson back. So, again, Draymond's back. Thompson's back. Got Steph under contract. Will Boogie be back? That's up to the Warriors. Iguodala's already under contract. Livingston's under contract.
Again, Iguodala is the only issue of will he retire?
Yeah, but he's age. But my point is, though, the Warriors are intact.
Yeah.
So KD just adds frosting to the cake. Then you look at the situation with Irving in Boston. Well, where he basically told Boston, I'm not sure I want to be back here.
He's been alluding to that for quite some time.
Boston said, you know what? Fine. Guess what we might do? We might go after Anthony Davis now. Because
possibly
there is talks. I don't think Davis is the same thing that I said about
again.
Durant.
Boston has to figure out.
I don't think Davis wants to go to Los Angeles. They can't win now. They're not going to win, even with Davis on the floor or with Durant. They're not going to win.
Everyone is saying that LA is going to put up the trade offer for Anthony Davis, and that again, Anthony Davis has put up at least saying, "Hey, I want to go to LA, or if not, go to New York." Like this offseason is going to hinge on Anthony Davis of what he does, where he goes. That might lay pieces around at least free agency to determine of, again, it might even affect Kevin Durant of where Anthony Davis lands. Does he decide, I want to join the superpower that's in Los Angeles if Anthony Davis goes there? Or do I want to help out Anthony Davis in New York? Or do I stand pat in Golden State? That could be a big possibility. I really think the NBA offseason hinges, it is going to be determined in New Orleans this year of what they do in the draft and what they do with Anthony Davis on the trade. It is going to be the biggest decision, at least regarding the NBA, that's going to have a ripple effect of what happens out of Louisiana.
I think Davis is a Celtic next year. I really believe he's a Boston Celtic. I look at Kawhi Leonard, who's the number 2 guy on the free agent list this year.
Well, he's a second. He's kind of like the second.
Yeah, but Kawhi wanted nothing to do with Toronto when he was traded from the Spurs. He was so PO'd at that trade.
Yeah,
but he showed up. And he's one game away from giving them an NBA trophy. But he's not going to stay in Toronto. I don't think the Raptors are going to be able to sign him. He wants out. He hasn't been happy.
This finals will determine a lot of things as well.
He's not happy.
I think if Toronto's able to win a championship, and again, that does appease Kawhi, I think there's a possibility that Leonard does stay with the Raptors because, again, they won.
I think he bolts to Los Angeles.
I don't know about that. I really think if Toronto finds a way to win the NBA Finals, Kawhi, I would say, does stay. If they lose somehow, then I see the absolute possibility Kawhi exits, says bye-bye, Toronto. And, yeah, you could say possibly the L.A. Lakers. Who else could pick up Kawhi Leonard or at least give him big money that he would be healthy? Could he go down to Boston? Could he join the Celtics and have that opportunity be a part of that franchise? Again, that's had story history. Possibly. Kawhi is definitely an interesting factor as well, too, this offseason, where he is a big question mark. Does he stay? Which I think is a good possibility if they win. But if they lose, I think there's no way he stays as Toronto Raptor. There's just no way. After losing. I just don't see it. Kyrie Irving, again, where he announced today that he's going to go bye-bye or at least test free agency, no longer with the Boston Celtics. Does he return to L.A.? Does he return and find a familiar face with LeBron James and the L.A. Lakers?
Could be.
Possibly.
Could be.
I think that's a good possibility.
I have a feeling if everything falls into place for the Lakers, and again, I'm saying they're not the playoff team, but if they decide to fork out unbelievable dollars, which they're going to do, Irving, and let me just throw out Leonard for argument's sake. And let me throw out Davis for argument's sake. They are going to throw away stupid money to buy a championship in Los Angeles. I don't think they can do it.
No.
I still don't think they can win.
We'll see.
There's not enough basketballs out there. Not for LeBron. Kyrie is...
Well, those two mix well.
Kyrie is a team player. I will give Kyrie that. But Leonard wants to shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. Davis wants to be.
I don't think you could create a super team with Kyrie, with LeBron and Kawhi out in Los Angeles, or even if you toss in a Kevin Durant and Kyrie and LeBron in Los Angeles. I don't think that meshes well. I really don't. I think that's a disaster. Where you're gonna have three entities that want the basketball at every single time, and it's gonna implode out there in Los Angeles. I don't think that's a possibility. Kyrie going to at least testing the waters with the Lakers, rejoining LeBron, good possibility. I think it's a good possibility, but also, too, again, you could toss out the New Yorks of the world. Maybe he joins Brooklyn, the Nets who have been developing out of the East. But I don't think Kyrie Irving wants to be a part of these developing teams. He's been that with Boston, where Boston hasn't gone anywhere. They got to the playoffs and just kind of petered out. I don't think he wants to rejoin these teams that are so-so.
As I've been listening to you, and I've been trying to formulate this in my head, I see the Lakers throwing out some stupid money this year. I really do. They're going to try to be like the Yankees and buy the championship, and it's just not going to happen. Yeah. Oh, by the way, one last thing, Paul Millsap. I don't believe he'll be a Denver Nugget next year. I don't think they're going to, because they hold the option. $30 million contract? I don't think so.
Yeah, Paul Millsap, again,
depends on the draft.
A good player for the Nuggets, but I think the Nuggets can be fine without him.
And the Nuggets might be shopping as well, too. We don't know.
Oh, yeah.
They might be players.
Again, there's a lot of big names that are going to be a free agent.
They could be one player, possibly two away from being right there rubbing elbows with the Warriors. Could be. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
We do need to take – is this our last timeout? We're going to take one quick timeout. We'll be right back with more after these words of 1480 KRAE. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too. Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys, heard only right here, feature Chi-Chi's ready-to-drink cocktails, all available types, 1.75-liter bottle, $9.49. Smirnoff Vodka, 1.75-liter bottle, $18.99. And Busch or Busch Light, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $19.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Summer is just beginning, and it's a great time to plan all your home improvement and remodeling projects. This is Lexi.
And this is Aaron from Platte Valley Bank. A home equity line of credit can help finance summer projects, but can also fund summer fun like a boat, ATV, or even a convertible.
Stop in either Cheyenne location and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Credit subject to approval. Certain restrictions apply.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 69. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 48. On Thursday, it'll be partly sunny with a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon with highs around 78. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 49.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
As we wrap up the show, Rocks lose today, pummeled by the Cubs, 10-1 on Getaway Day at Coors Field, the Businessman Special. Tonight, it's Game 7. So I would venture to say anytime there's a Game 7, and I don't know what the ratings have been for this, Nick, but for St. Louis and Boston, obviously, all the TV sets will be on this one. But
possibly.
Will it be a nationwide draw? It should be. For the National Hockey League Stanley Cup Championship. Again, in Beantown, TD Garden, Bruins and the St. Louis Blues size that up?
I mean, is the whole nation going to be tuned into this one?
If you're a true hockey fan.
Possibly, absolutely. Again, if you're a true hockey fan, yeah, you're tuning in. But will you get the coast, like at least from L.A., the Bay Area, tuning into this? Probably not. Maybe even like,
New York, Chicago, nah.
Will the South tune in like a Texas, like an Arizona, New Mexico? Probably not. But I wouldn't doubt you're going to have a good amount. Again, Game 7 of any sport, it should draw fans into it. But sizing up this one, again, as I've talked about before the series, and here it is, Game 7, determining factor tonight on the road. St. Louis has won before. They've done it in Boston. They've done well coming off of losses where they had a chance to wrap up this thing. Especially there in St. Louis now on the road. Obviously, again, both teams have their backs against the wall, but I think a little bit more pressure is against the St. Louis Blues in this one, especially with it being in the TD Garden. My prediction, again, as I've said with this series, and I'll say it again, St. Louis is going to be your champions. I have a feeling will be hoisting its first cup. If I had to put a final score of where, judging off of how things have gone in the Stanley Cup, St. Louis, I think gets it done tonight. 4-2. That defense has to step up as it's done in those previous wins. And that offense has been there, but the defense obviously had to find some consistency. It's been a roller coaster ride, but I think coming off of that loss, that opportunity to close things out in St. Louis, something fuels that fire tonight. That St. Louis gets it done.
They're going to play the same way they did in St. Louis. They're going to play
flat. They're going to get out.
They just don't. Again, every time you've said that, and every time that they come after a loss, they rebound and they find a way to win.
Boston wins again by about a 5-2 count tonight.
I think it's 4-2. I really do think. I really believe St. Louis gets. I really think that loss in St. Louis fuels that fire, or at least brings some sort of energy and some sort of momentum for St. Louis, where, again, their backs are against the wall. They're against all odds being on the road here in a Game 7 in Boston, where a team that's done it before. They did it 8 years ago. I just think something as special is brewing for the Blues for tonight, and I think they win and get their first cup and win, at least in my prediction, at least final score 4-2.
All right, and I got the Bruins winning Game 7 tonight in Beantown. Coming up this evening, 8 until 10, it is our Golden Age of Radio Theater, one of our